Bengaluru is still the most congested city in India. Ask any Bengalurians about the problem that they face in the city, and most would say traffic. So it's hardly surprising that the Bengaluru's traffic ooze is in top priority list by the Karnataka Congress government. But sometimes what is conceived as a solution would actually aggravate as a problem. At least that's what the experts say regarding the proposed project by DK Shivakumar, the Deputy CM of Karnataka and Bengaluru Development Minister. So the state government has planned to build two urban tunnels in the city to decongest Bengaluru traffic at a cost of what? Rupees 32,700 crore. And yes, I know it's quite a big hefty sum. Do you think the underground tunnels would make the situation?
No. It's not. No. Yeah, definitely for sure it's gonna help.
Yeah, sure. It's going to help. It's very useful.
Is this really a solution for the traffic, or what exactly is the plan of DK Shivakumar? Let me unpack it for you. The BBMP's feasibility report has proposed a network of 54.5 kilometers of tunnel roads which are crisscrossing the length and breadth of the city. At an average cost of rupees 600 crore per kilometer, this entire project is going to cost 32,700 crore rupees. And along with that, Karnataka Congress government is paying rupees 5.5 crore as a consultancy fees to this Delhi-based consulting engineering groups. And this Delhi-based company is going to give a complete report of underground tunnels and or a DPR as we call regarding this underground tunnels that's going to come up in the city. So let me give you a complete information about these underground tunnels. There will be two main corridors in the city. The first one is North-South corridor, which is going to start from ST Mall in Hebal to Silk Board, where I am standing right now. The other corridor is East-West corridor, which is going to start from KR Puram to Mysore Road via Alsuru, Richmond Road and Town Hall. So according to this feasibility report, the North-South corridor is going to cost rupees 14,700 crore. This is going to be a stretch of 24.5 kilometer. And the East-West corridor with a stretch of 30 kilometer comes with a price tag 18,000 crore rupees overall, and it is entirely going to cost 32,700 crore rupees. But here the concern is Bengaluru's landscape is feasible for the underground tunnel, and why is it a car-centric project? Why are these underground tunnels is only for private vehicles but not as a public transport? These are the questions that I'm going to pose to the expert of Bengaluru, to a mobility expert in Bengaluru, and let's see what he has to say about it.
I think it is feasible to build long tunnels in Bengaluru. We have already many kilometers of underground metro, but we also have learned a lot of lessons. Many times those machines failed and stuck for months together. They say that now the technology has improved and that's why they are more confident. I'm not a technical expert to comment on that, but we all know that Bengaluru is a rocky terrain. There's a lot of granite, hard rock. Bengaluru is essentially a hill, right? We are on a very high elevation with hard rock under us. So I think tunneling is anyway going to be quite an expensive and a long proposition. So literally you are going to be digging up the city for the next 10 years if you take up a project like this. And given the capacities of our government systems, lack of coordination, the land acquisition and various other issues with tendering, contracting, multiple agencies, it's going to be a mother of all projects that will take a decade or so to complete. So that is what I worry about when I look at tunnels. In terms of technical details, I think there is technology today. World over, they are building tunnels. And I have fundamentally nothing against tunnels. I think tunnels are a good solution. It's just that Bengaluru city right now needs more and more public transport and less road transport. That's where I come from. That is a disaster part, right? In the mobility science, in the transport science, there is something called induced demand. Let's say you build a flyover. Right now, they built a flyover, double-decker flyover from Jayanagar, Ragiguda to HSR layout, right, over Silk Road. Now suddenly what happened? Silk board has become Kali. It's no longer the butt of all jokes because you're going on top of silk board. But then what happens? You land in HSR layout and then the traffic congestion continues. So flyovers or tunnels shift the congestion from point A to point B. They cannot permanently solve it. It's a band-aid solution and a very, very expensive band-aid. So that's why the scientists, the researchers, and all the people that work on it throughout the world, Madhu, Mitha, I must tell you, throughout the world, road-based solutions are not added to any cities for last 20, 30 years. Throughout the world, they're demolishing flyovers. You can Google it and find out how many flyovers have been demolished in all the countries across the world. Because inside the city, what you need is a mass public transport, integrated public transport, and then you need non-motorable transport, which is walking and cycling as fast last mile and public transport. You do that, and there will always be cars. There will always be congestion with the cars. That's not something you can ever solve. So you can never ever solve a congestion problem in a city because as you build more roads, more vehicles will come. So then you have to build another flyover, and pretty soon you'll be in a concrete jungle being stuck on flyovers only and not going home anywhere. And the public transport cannot really use tunnels or flyovers because why? Public transport has to pick up people at different places, right? So you cannot have a bus go in a flyover because people are waiting downstairs for the bus. So how can that happen, right? Then it defeats the purpose of it. There are certain examples where entire tunnels are built only for public transport. Now that's an idea I can get behind. If you say the tunnel is only for bus or public transport, multi-user vehicles, at least 20 users should be there in a vehicle that goes in a tunnel. Now that makes a lot of sense. But I don't think anyone is willing to build that. One of the big things that the government needs to do is work with large employers. In Bengaluru, we have staggered timings for schools. For example, all schools begin earlier in the day and end by 2 p.m. and so on, so that the school children the traffic congestion, they're going stuck in traffic and the office traffic begins after that. Now the time has come for the government to start working with the large employers, things like Outer Ring Road Companies Association and Whitefield and others, where you can stagger the office timing so that everyone is not rushing to the office at the same time. Given the nature of the Bengaluru's work, we have a lot of GCCs, we have a lot of companies that work with UK and USA and all of that, and we have a lot of companies that work round the clock for various other reasons. This is where the reform is. Work from home is another aspect that's very important. Almost all cities in the world have it. The reason we are seeing a surge in congestion now is many companies have started removing the work from home policy. So government should start engage in discussions with companies on what is a rational work from home policy. Imagine if a company says that you come to work 3 days a week and within 3 days a week you take public transport 2 days a week. One day you please take your car or whatever, but 2 days a week please take public transport. This is a campaign we have been running last year called Personal to Public, from personal vehicle to public transport 2 days a week. And if you did take public transport, the company will reimburse you for the metro or the bus ticket. That's an incentive. Today what is happening, companies are giving car lease, car loan, free car parking. So they're incentivizing employees to use more cars. That's absolutely the wrong thing to do at this point of time in our city. So the government should work with the companies and encourage them to bring positive, progressive policies towards incentivizing public transport and disincentivizing private transport. Where they could start charging for parking in office, for example, things like that. So policy making is a very important part of this solution. First of all, a lot of public attention and government attention and focus will go on that. That will take away from other things. The process of creating the DPRs, the tenders and all that, public consultation need to be done. There's going to be a lot of opposition, a lot of protests, all kinds of things will happen. So there is going to be a huge distraction from what is the government trying to do today. And at the end of the day, magically, if the tunnels are done and constructed, you are going to see a lot of cars using that tunnel and coming out of the tunnel and being stuck in the traffic and start complaining that, what's the point of the tunnel? I'm stuck anyway here when I come out of it. So that's the kind of reaction you're going to get. And because the tunnel is there, a lot of people are going to buy their houses or change their job or schools according to where the tunnel is. So you're going to increase density of people living near the tunnel, away from the tunnel. Real estate projects will start advertising that buy our apartment, it's only 500 meters from the tunnel. And we know how that goes, right? All of these things are going to change the dynamics of the city and create an imbalance in the city. So therefore, tunnel should be short and sweet, and they should solve a particular problem, and they should not be mega long tunnels. And the thing that I mentioned earlier, induced demand. It's a little difficult for politicians to understand, but we have to know that when it's a principle of economics, actually, if you make something available, more people will want to take it. It's like that, right? That is why it happens all the time, that if you build a Bengaluru city has 55 flyovers, Madhu. Okay, so my question to everyone listening and supporting or thinking that tunnels are good idea is this: if flyovers are a solution, Bengaluru should not have any traffic problem, because we already built 50 of them. How come we still have the problem? Because with every flyover, you're getting even more vehicles. So they are not only not solving the problem, they are increasing the problem. So why would you pay good money to create your own problems? So it's a bad idea.